the crew of Nanotristan have become complacent. They're comfortable sitting on their station with superior weaponry, possibly even bigger explosives. One thing that they can't survive through is flames. My previous flamethrower designs have been inefficient, weak. So I've sat down at the drawing board to figure out how to make truly the most devastating flamethrower you possibly can. And this involves some MacGyver shit. So if you didn't know, nukies spawn with the spray nozzle and the backpack water tank in the bathroom for some reason. Ever since a buff, you can actually attach the spray nozzle to the backpack water tank, which has been a buff to the flamethrower. You could just leave this here, it's not a big deal. Next, we need to go into a side room, and we're going to have to grab this welding torch, the industrial welding tool, and we got to go a little bit further, and we got to grab a stack of plasteel. This isn't necessarily required, but this is just the process I use. This is where things get very, very strange. So we need to keep the plasteel here. We can put it in the grinder for now. Then the welding tool needs to be dragged into the Chem Master so we can use its welding fuel, because there's no welding tank on the Nuki planet. Next, we're going to grind up this plasma. This will be used later. You could do this step last or first. It doesn't really matter. But you could just take the beaker and leave it off to the side, drag it in the Chem Master. However you focus better is the right call here. But either way, we're going to need that later. I just put it off to the side. Grab another large beaker, put it in the grinder, and we're going to have to go into this side room now, and we need to grind up some plastic. We're going to grind up all 30 pieces of plastic here. So you could just leave the blender on auto mode and grind, so we can save just a little bit of time. Once it's done grinding, you can take it out, drag it into the Chem Master, put it back in, and keep grinding. Once you've grinded all the plastic, we need to then grab the welding fuel jug out of here and drag that straight into the Chem Master as well. We also will need hydrogen and carbon, all straight into the Chem Master. Now is a big, big mix. We want to get exactly 330 oil, so we can do some pretty simple math here. So we're just going to need to do 2 batches of 25 welding fuel, 25 hydrogen, and 25 carbon. That'll make 75 oil. Do that one more time. That'll make another 75 oil. Then we just want to do a batch of 10. So we come out with a total of 330 oil. Next, we need to get both ethanols out of the Cindy Juice machine, the Chem Master or Chem Ven, whatever the hell you want to call it. Not the Chem Master. Drag both of these jugs in, and you can use these empty jugs later for actual meds or whatever you want. This does require using the Chem Master, otherwise you're going to be sitting here mixing jugs imperfectly for a while. So you might have to slow down making meds, but whatever. We're here to burn them, not save ourselves. We're going to be dying of nuclear hellfire anyway. So now we need to make 990 napalm. So to do this, we're just going to do increments of 25 welding fuel, 25 oil, and 25 ethanol, and we just keep mixing this until it is all done. So it's a lot of clicking, but you will get there. Once you're done, you'll have the 990 napalm. Now this is where we want to drag our plasma in. We also are going to need to drag in oxygen and sulfur because we need sulfuric acid. So from here, we want to do 10 oxygen, 5 sulfur, and 5 hydrogen from earlier. You could have dragged in fresh if you wanted. And now finally with the sulfuric acid, we make the flog. We just do 5 sulfuric acid, 5 phosphorus from earlier, and 5 plasma. You'll make a tiny bit of plasma in the lab, but that is totally fine. It's really not a problem in this small concentration. Now we're at the part that's just a lot of clicking. You want to take the 10 flog and put 10 flog in the large beaker, and we're going to transfer all of the napalm into the water tank. You can't drag the beaker onto it, unfortunately, but you can set the transfer amount to 100 and just transfer it all in one click. So you want to position it just a little bit better than I am. And at this point, again, it's just a lot of clicking. So with this, we have created a true death machine. Now that the spray nozzle could be attached to the backpack, you could just do Shift B to pull it out instantly and shoot somebody. Each shot will set them on fire, and with 2 flame stacks a shot, it is a ton of damage. And we have 200 shots of this thing. This is only one shot, and they have taken a third of their health. If you hit somebody with 2 or 3 shots, even if they're in any suit other than the flame-proof ones from the previous video, aka the Atmos Fire suit, the Atmos Hard suit, and the CE, they will take damage from this. Only those people should not be shot with this. That's really only going to be 3 or 4 people in the entire station, maybe, that is wearing that. If there's even that many Atmos techs, it really depends on your population. So this is great if you're a syndicate. It's amazing as a nukie. And yes, if you shoot somebody with all 10, or if you shoot somebody 5 times, they'll hit max fire stacks, and they'll be dead so fast, even if they stop, dropped, and rolled, they have no chance of surviving this. They will die. Not just crit, they will die. Moss and Diana on the crew fare even worse than normal crew members against this. Diana don't take an insane amount of extra burn, but they definitely don't like it. But one little spray of the fire on a moth is enough to utterly obliterate them. So somebody like the captain or a security member as a moth, they will die so fast that there is no chance they could do anything against you. And yes, Diana with all the fire stacks also just, they crumpled. And yes, this is just to reiterate, if somebody's in a spaced environment, this thing is really not going to do very much. Can't really have flames like that in space. For as fun as these things are, they're not the end-all be-all. Just to end the video, and a little note for people who think this is going to be disgustingly OP or something. The crew are often now the ones who space the station and nukies, not even the nukies themselves. But if you are going to be having somebody using a flamethrower, you need to be very conscious about not trying to space everything and just trying to get your way onto the station by either like emagging through a door or going through a door that you have access to, like a airlock or something. But anyways, just something to keep in mind. You want to try to not use this in space environments. If things are spaced, you're throwing mini bombs and stuff, you're going to be relying on backup weapons at that point. Anyways, this is an even more easier and streamlined process flamethrower to be made than my previous ones. And man, flamethrowers are just fun. Thank you for watching.